Hello everybody, welcome back to 779 Organic Master Gardening. I've decided to make some kind of raised beds for some flowers to go in the front garden, and so I've got 4 of these colour pallets. I can't remember, pallet collars, whatever they're called. Anyway, and I'm using the same principle I've done before for the no-dig beds that I've done in the vegetable patch. And so basically what I've got the 4 here in the 4 different stages. So I've lined these all with cardboard, and then on the top I put some sawdust. I'll be honest with you, I wanted to make this video about 3 days ago, but the weather stopped me from doing that, and so now's my only opportunity. So but it's done me a bit of a favour because we had quite a bit of rain, and it's worth bearing in mind that if you're putting on a lot of dry materials, you do need to get it quite wet. And I'm looking in these to see how they're getting on. I've got quite a few insects in there. Anyway, so first layer is cardboard, second layer is sawdust, and then the third layer is some garden compost. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of this. So I'm not sieving any of this. It's what I would use as a top dressing. It's interesting, right? I've been having a conversation with a few people on the social media, and there's a confusion, quite rightly, about using the word mulch, because a lot of people tend to think that you put mulch to stop the weeds from growing. And so us guys have been using the phrase using compost to mulch our vegetable beds, and actually what we're doing is we're applying the top dressing. So I'm sure that the person that I had the conversation with about that will remember that I'm now using the phrase top dressing. Anyway, that is the first layer of the homemade compost on top of there. And then the next thing is I've got a wheelbarrow here, and I'm going to pour 1-year-old green waste compost on the top, like so. We obviously want to get him level. Come around the other side. Still got a bit of a cold, sorry about that if I'm sniffing in the background. So we pop that on there. Just get it all in there. Great thing about compost is it's a lot lighter than soil. It's less dense. Anyway, that goes on there like that. So you'll see behind me there, I've got another one there, this one here to do. So I'll do the same. But I've got another little trick. So I shall reposition the camera and show you something else that I'm going to put on there. Now I'm taking the theory of chop and drop to these beds. And if you're not familiar with chop and drop, it's basically the principle of chop something down, chop it up in tiny little pieces and drop it exactly where you've left it. But you can also drop things, you can cut things or chop things and take them to a different location. And when you think about that, grass cuttings you can take and you add to your compost heaps. But the principle is the same, it's just the distance and how far you're going. Now what I've done here is I've been cutting our grass in the front So I've chopped it and I'm literally dropping it over this bed I've just filled, like so. And I'll do the same on this one here. And then when I've done that, I shall put another top dressing of the green waste compost on the top. So this is going to be quite a deep bed. I put these down on the ground here. It's shocking ground. You can't get anything in it. In the summer it breaks rock hard, it's like concrete. It was the last owner's driveway, but also we've had 40-ton lorries on here delivering huge amounts of sand and stone for our house renovations, which we finished last autumn-ish approximately. Anyway, so there we have it. So I've now got 4. So I've got a bed here. Let's pick up the camera so you can get a better idea. It's got the garden compost on it, so it's going to have a wheelbarrow full of the green waste, and then I will put another top dressing on of the grass, as I've done here, here and here, and then they will all have another top dressing of the green waste compost. It's nice and wet, which is great, and like I say, if you've got dry materials, you really do want to get some moisture in there, and then you'll know you're well on the way. What am I going to be putting in there? Well, I've ordered some lupins. So, and I've gone a bit crazy with them, to be honest, but we needed a bit of colour in here. And again, it's no dig. So we've got some, it's by the side of the wheelbarrow there. We do have some lilies that come out in orange. When we first came, I did try and start a crocosmia, or Montbruche, as some people call them, so that Buddleia, but it didn't really do very well. And we don't really do much else in here. We just let it do its thing, as we've always done. So we've got some lavenders, which will give us some purple, and obviously the daffodils and the forsythias. But when those daffs go, the lavenders will come in, but the tulips will go, and then beyond, in the back there, we do have the tulips, and when they finish, we will have the phlox and the aquiledias all the way around. So we want it to be, don't want it to be too formal. I'm saying that I don't want straight edges, and then I've got these boxes. It's a better word. I can never remember it. Pallet, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the idea. And when these buddleias come into bloom, we should have some decent colours going on. So the idea of the lupins, they're going to be quite tall, and if we stand back from the house, it rises up. In fact, if I go down, you get an indication. You can see the step ladders there, and that back box, if you like, is a little bit higher than the ones at the front here by the mower box. So the idea is to have the lupins at the back. I've got some Rebecchias coming as well. See that jasmine in the corner up by the on the other piece of grass there, and I've got some geraniums. I can't remember the type. They're the ground covering ones anyway. RHS had them at the Chelsea Flower Show about 4 or 5 years ago. Won best flower in show, was it? We've got a merit award anyway from the RHS, so that's coming. So we'll have blues and whites and purples, all that kind of thing going on through here. And then, of course, like I say, the lavender's going up the side there where those daffs are. They get quite tall. We should get a huge number of butterflies in here. So I'm sitting on the bench, if you like, on the side of the ruin, looking back the other way. So it gives you a bit of perspective. I've left the wheelbarrow there. So in any direction, we'll get the height of the lupins this side. We'll have some Rebecchias in there as well. We still get the colours of the plants and the shrubs in the on the front of the patio area there. And then hopefully we'll get more and more colour in any direction that you look. And of course, beyond that, where we store the wood or the logs, we've got those 2 roses trailing up the side of the building. It's colour that we're looking for. It does get a huge amount of sun here in the summer, and it gets very, very warm. But I'm hoping that, you know, these plants will be able to tolerate the drought a little bit more. And by adding that top dressing into these composts, and also the wood chip and the sawdust, they'll retain the moisture and keep it cool. This is another reason why I intend to keep the grass as long as I can tolerate. I don't normally like long grass, but here short grass doesn't survive in the summer, and green stuff keeps the temperatures down, albeit just a little bit. It's marginal, but that's the idea. I've got a couple of other shrubs that will appear in the next few weeks, and when we have a walk about, you'll see those as they've grown. Okay, so there we have it. 4 raised beds, no dig, cardboard, sawdust, garden compost, green waste compost, some grass clippings, and then some more green waste compost on the top just to keep it tidy. It's about 8 inches deep, ready to go. It took me on and off no more than 3 hours maximum, very, very maximum, and I've got to save my back. But if you like that video, please give me a thumbs up. I'm on 350 subscribers, so my next target now is 500. So if you subscribe to this, it'll be absolutely amazing. And if you've got anything you want to talk to me about, just leave me a comment, or follow me on the various other places that you find me. There's a huge group of organic growers all out throughout the UK, throughout the world, not the UK, who I'm in regular contact with via Facebook. Those are different ways of finding me. In the meantime, take care, enjoy Easter, and I will catch up with you very, very soon.